89.7 FM.
It's 1 o'clock, time for the Joy Business Report. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana's fiscal deficit of 9% in 2022, highest in ECOWAS. We'll hear from an African Development Bank report. And bulk oil storage and transportation company post profit after tax of 342 million cedis in 2022. We have details from BOST annual general meeting. And later on in the bulletin, Ghana Revenue Authority closes down shops and arrests some managers for failure to abide by VAT payment regulations at in the Greater Accra region. I am Beverly Broom. The details now. Ghana's fiscal deficit of 9.0% relative to the size of the economy in 2022 was the highest in West Africa. That's according to the 2023 West African Economic Outlook report by the African Development Bank. According to the report, the fiscal deficit, which is the difference between revenue and expenditure, only fell by 0.2% in 2021 from 9.2%. There's more in this report. The country's fiscal deficit averaged 5.8% relative to the size of the economy between 2014 and 2020. This placed it as the second highest in the ECOWAS region. According to the African Development Bank report, Ghana's fiscal position was better before COVID-19. However, low revenue and high expenditure caused a large budget deficit. This was due to fiscal measures to support COVID-19 pandemic-affected households and businesses. Meanwhile, the situation appears to be improving with provisional data on budget execution for the period January and May this year, indicating an overall broad cash deficit of 1.8% of gross domestic product against a budget target of 4.0% of GDP. The report concluded that West Africa's budget deficit remains high and now exceeds that of all other regions. That was a business desk report. Now, the bulk oil storage and transportation company BOST has posted a profit after tax of 342 million cedis in 2022 compared to the net profit after tax of 161 million cedis recorded in 2021. Speaking at the company's annual general meeting, board chairman Mr. Eko Hackman stated that the positive performance can be attributed to improved financing agreements, more effective customer engagement and retentive initiatives.
I'm pleased to announce once again that BOST achieved a net profit after tax 342,494,604 Ghana cedis compared to 160,718,361 Ghana cedis in the previous year. BOST's operating income also increased by 69% from 254 million in 2021 to 428 million in 2022. This was on the back of a 77% increase in revenue from 1.12 billion Ghana cedis in 2021 to 3.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2022.
Meanwhile, revenue from fuel product sales saw an increase of 387% in 2021 compared to 2022. Now, government has indicated that it is making significant progress on negotiations to restructure debt owed independent power producers. This is coming after the producers initially kicked against the proposals from the Finance Ministry on how the debt can be cleared. This will come up with new terms on how the debts can be paid over a period of time. Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta is optimistic a resolution will be reached very soon on the matter.
We have, as you know, been able to get about 3 or so tariff adjustments so that there becomes some automaticity in terms of quarterly adjustment that we make sure that we are, really getting back the type of payback that is required to keep us. And so that has then resulted in ECG literally doubling its collections, which then would enable us to pay the IPPs on a monthly basis and not accumulate that. The question now is a legacy liability, and that we are negotiating to make that possible so that they can also be able to continue to give us light. But I think eventual negotiations with these power purchase agreements, we should be able to get through that, and that will then rationalize the environment a lot better. So I'm pleased with the progress.
We do some more stories now. Stakeholders in the upstream oil and gas sector are making a case for the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, to remain relevant and efficient in the midst of energy transitions across the globe. This call is critical as a survey by the Natural Resources Governance Institute indicates that many oil companies are reducing investments in crude oil production. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement on the survey, Senior Africa Programs Officer of the NRGI, Dennis J, said time has come for the GNPC to leverage its capacity to explore other opportunities in the West African region to stay relevant.
Do you have a potential? So, for instance, considering that Dangote refinery is already set up and is about to kick off, do you have that equal capacity to compete in the region? If you do not, what gaps are you seeing? What niches are you looking at taking advantage of? So, for instance, we cited the issue of lithium. We have just discovered lithium. What can you do with lithium as a national oil company, given that lithium is very useful in the transition process? Do you have to go into refineries like Dangote is doing, given that you have different capacities and you may not be able to compete? So it is all about encouraging companies to take advantage of their local opportunities and reduce the risks that they will bear on the energy transition, both locally and regionally.
Managers of some hardware and general merchandise shops have been arrested at Waja in the Greater Accra region for non-compliance of value-added tax regulations and infractions. The arrest was made by the Ghana Police and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Modern Floors and Jay's Cosmetics were among some of the shops that were closed. The move is to ensure that businesses adhere to the tax laws. Republic Bank Ghana PLC says it is working to explore other areas of Ghana's economy to invest to further improve its customer deposits. The bank in its 2022 annual report recorded a 53.5% in customer deposits. According to the managing director, Benjamin Jobuku, the bank would not restrict its investment to government securities, but rather invest in small and medium-scale enterprises and other key sectors for good returns to protect customers.
We are a bank to give money to the economy for the economy to grow. So what we are doing is to put our money into the areas of the economy. So one, as I said, mortgage is one area that we are putting our money. Two, retail banking, personal loan, SMEs, and then corporate. For corporate, we are not doing everything under corporate. We are
Raw ginger production in Ghana increased from 65.7 tons in 2002 to 94.72 tons in 2021, growing at an average annual rate of 1.98%. But production is faced with a myriad of challenges, including degrading soil fertility and post-harvest losses. In this week's episode of The Food Chain, Emmanuel Bright Kweku speaks to ginger farmer at Inquiria District and experts at the Soil Research Institute on improving ginger production.
Farmers at Mpatuom, Obi Ashanti region harvesting raw ginger for sale and processing. This is a livelihood they inherited from their ancestors. Patrick Bricrine has been in the ginger farming business for over 2 decades now, a venture that has catered for his family.
I can do food and very more shots over 25 years.
The ginger originated from Twanse and later spread to Jankoba and Hudiem. We grew up to see our forefathers in ginger farming. The farming is lucrative.
yɛde hwehwɛ yɛ ma no ma baabi kura university ne ade.
The Achimangwa-Bieja district is one of the largest producers of ginger in the country. Regina Sulemana supervises over 50 ginger farmers at Impatuum and adjoining communities.
A1 Kosab Ginger Farmers Association. Now we have, the little I have is we are only ginger farmers. The reason why I do the association, people who have completed school, they are dead, they are not doing anything. They can come and we educate them what ginger can do. So I decided to get a land by myself to plant the ginger and processing it. Like here, like this, I can produce even more than 1,000 bags from here.
In spite of the lucrativeness of ginger farming, farmers here are faced with a challenge of degrading soil fertility. In recent years, ginger farmers at Amanchia, Jankoba, and its adjoining communities have had to abandon cultivated farmlands to new sites for ginger planting.
We cannot use the same land for the plantation of ginger next year unless we move to another area. We don't know the reason, so it has become necessary for us to move to another place.
We sought some answers from the Ghana Soil Information Center at the Soil Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
So in Ashanti region, for instance, the soils are getting more and more acidic, and then generally phosphorus, especially phosphorus levels are very low because the soils don't have these natural mineral, like the natural minerals that will release phosphorus, like the apatites, because the soils are highly weathered to the maximum level.
And that's the end of the Joy Business Report, brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Do follow us on all our social media pages, including LinkedIn. The EcoBank salary account is a special account designed for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank salary account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account, plus many more. EcoBank salary accounts give workers free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 Ghana cedi, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, high interest on savings, no minimum balance, ability to save through the EcoBank Save As You Spend, a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent temporary disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close their existing account to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank salary account. Just ask your branch to switch your existing account to the EcoBank salary account. Non-EcoBank account holders should approach any EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank salary account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. Call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003225 wherever for further details. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. I am Beverly Brom. Ignition is next with Sammy Fortson. Do enjoy.